Bernie Sanders has come out with his wealth tax proposal. It's a very interesting plan. We're gonna give you details, but did you know that he stole it from Elizabeth Warren? That's what the Washington Post is saying. Let's take a look at this tweet. Sanders, taking a page from Warren, proposes sweeping wealth tax. And then let's see, we also have the New York Times saying, with the proposal, Mr. Sanders is embracing an idea that has been a centerpiece of the campaign of his top progressive rival, Senator Elizabeth Warren. But while Ms. Warren came first, Mr. Sanders is going bigger. So they do admit that his plan is bolder. The issue is that, of course, Bernie Sanders has been pushing this sort of idea, a wealth tax, for a very long time, in 2014, but he's been talking about it for more than 2 decades at this point. What did you think about this?
So, did you know that Bernie was not in favor of taxing the rich before this campaign? Apparently. I mean, it's only what he's been hammered about, what the mainstream media and the establishment has been hammering him for decades and decades and calling him a crazy loon. So it's absurd to suggest that he in some way stole this from Elizabeth Warren. Now, his plan is much more comprehensive than Elizabeth Warren's, but I do think that Elizabeth Warren's proposal is, I've said for a while, politically perfect in the sense that it seems very reasonable to the average voter, the 2 and 3% off the top for the billionaires and for the wealthiest people in this country, to fund all of these significant programs. People hear that and they go, wow, but Bernie's plan goes further. And what's irritating is that the Washington Post couldn't just frame this as, oh, he has a more radical or more progressive or a more all-encompassing wealth tax plan. No, it's that he took it from Elizabeth Warren when he's been espousing these ideas for decades as a member of the House and now as a senator. And so he got the political ramifications of the establishment going after him in the past for these proposals. But now that they've become mainstream, he doesn't even get the credit. And now they're saying he's taken it from someone else when that's patently absurd.
Yeah, and incredibly frustrating. I mean, we've seen this throughout the primary. They oppose his plans right up until the point where, come on, Bernie, stop talking about how you came up with it. Everybody agrees. So that's a frustrating turn. On the flip side, I'm not one of the people that thinks that Elizabeth Warren has simply stolen all of his plans. I think that they have similar sorts of goals that they come at from different directions, and I think that almost uniformly, his plans are better, his goals are better and bolder. And to that end, let's just briefly show a comparison of the wealth tax proposal. You can see that down at the bottom, Elizabeth Warren, between $50 million to $1 billion wealth. She has a 2% tax plan. Over $1 billion, it's 3%. And you can see there that there's both a more fine-grained, granular approach in Bernie Sanders' plan, but also far higher amounts that in the end would end up raising more than twice as much. And what's really interesting, I'm gonna jump ahead. Bernie got he got attacked today for saying he doesn't think billionaires should exist. We can talk about that in just a sec. But Warren Gunnels tweeted, if Bernie's plan had been in place from the early 80s to today, take a look at how much some of the most noteworthy billionaires would be worth. Bezos would be worth 43 billion rather than 160. Gates, 9.9 instead of 97 billion. Those are amazing. And I know that for some billionaires, that's horrifying, but note that you would still never be able to spend every dollar that you have if you had those smaller amounts.
Well, I know one thing for sure. Billionaires are quiet folk, and they're certainly going to take this very well and not have any opposition in the form of bribes, campaign contributions to bolster that view.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know that they're gonna be taking another look at Biden and Kamala and Buttigieg and all that because this is gonna scare the hell out of them. It is possible that if they feel like the alternative, it's either this, which is doomsday, or what would previously have seemed unimaginable, which would be Warren's plan. It is possible that they would prefer that, but we'll have to see how the donations shake out in the near future.
I would love if that were the choice. Oh my God, would I love if that were the choice? And they would have to take, a wealth tax from Warren's perspective, or the bolder and more comprehensive wealth tax from Bernie's perspective and Bernie's campaign. That would be a phenomenal choice for the rest of us.
That certainly would be. Emma, I wish that we had more time. I know we had some more topics we want to talk about, but unfortunately we're running over. So thank you as always for joining us. It's great to have you on.
Thanks so much, John.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.